It has been a fantastic, fun-filled summer. We have had so many adventures, and it is time to talk about tires because we did Carrizo Plain, going along the Tembler Ridge Trail, the whole trail all the way along, including crazy steep uphills and downhills at like 25 degrees. We did well over 100 miles of off-roading in Dixie Valley out in central Nevada. And we just last weekend did almost 100 miles on Saline Valley Road in northwestern Death Valley, going through crazy rock gardens and 115-degree heat and all that kind of fun. And through it all, we have been wearing our new pair of shoes, our Toyo Open Country AT3 EV tires. We went ahead and got rid of the original OEM Scorpion Pirellis at about 25,000 miles, and we've had them on about 8,000 miles now. And look, let me not bury the headline here. The long story short is essentially the Toyos are kind of the same as the Scorpions. They fit the same paradigm. They're an AT tire that gives you everything you need and nothing you don't. The question, of course, becomes then, what do you actually need? Because off-road AT tires tend to be marketed and made for being tough and take you anywhere and Baja 1000 certified and that kind of stuff. So, but do you really need that? Because there's a basic trade-off in tires. You have strength and durability, which tends to translate to weight. And weight destroys efficiency and ride quality and often noise and causes problems. And those two things are in conflict. Now, these tires, the Toyo Open Country AT3 EV, it's kind of confusing to people because there's actually two different models. There's the standard 116 level load rating and also a light truck version of the EV tire that is like 10 pounds more. 10 pounds per corner is a huge difference. We actually did a project where we put on forged rims on our vehicle, and that reduced the weight on every corner by over 12 pounds. And that increased our efficiency on surface streets by about 5%. And again, that's what I care about for trail range like this. You know, on the highway, there's gonna be fast chargers and stuff. When you're off trail, off in the wilderness, there are not chargers. And so at lower speeds, that's where I really want to see that efficiency and decreasing the weight that you're moving, the rotational mass that you are spinning up and spinning down every time you accelerate and decelerate, and also having less weight, unsprung weight, that is moving up and down for your suspension to manage. All those benefits are fantastic. That all makes a huge difference for efficiency. You know, it's not hard to go ahead and search for people with Rivians who bought, again, some big, heavy clodhopper of an off-road tire, and oh, I lost 10, 15, 20% of my range, right? That is huge. That is absolutely huge. So the OEM Pirelli Scorpions and the Toyo AT3 EVs are kind of in the same paradigm. They are a little bit heavier than all-season tires, sure. They are presumably stronger. They have a tread pattern that works better off-road, but may cause some noise. They are triple Mountain Peak rated, so they do fine in the snow. They actually have some texturing and contouring on the sidewalls. They look more aggressive and stuff, and they kind of look better on the vehicle. And there are other tires in this same paradigm that are coming out more and more. There are other tires out there like this. It's an interesting kind of new segment of lightweight all-terrain tires. Other subtle differences between the Toyos and the Pirellis. So the Toyos definitely have a softer sidewall. I can really feel that when I air the tires down when we're off-roading. Once you get down under 40 PSI, standard, by the way, for the Rivian, for the non-Rivian owners out there, standard is 48 PSI cold. When I go off-roading, if I air them down to 40 PSI, they still feel pretty solid. When I go down to like 35 PSI, it starts to feel a little jello-y. And actually, there was some moments when we were driving in Death Valley last weekend when we're going over washboarding, and the washboarding was kind of at an off angle a little bit, and we were down at 35 PSI because we were going over some rocks earlier, and the truck started to do this kind of funny shimmy.
So it still survived. It's like wooden. It must be renovated.
Well, some of those lower pieces are definitely new.
Yeah.
But the upper pieces are definitely all
upper
vintage.
pieces, like especially if it's like.
Oh my god.
100 years.
You feel that?
Yeah.
It was a total jello. It was really weird. Changed my angle, changed my speed. It was no big deal, but definitely kind of interesting. And definitely the sidewalls are a little softer. And you can also see the sidewalls are a little rounder as well, which is kind of understanding from that perspective. The sidewalls also definitely have more pronounced cleats on them. You can see them poking out beyond the fender flare. So it definitely has a little bit of a more aggressive look on it. And while I haven't driven in snow yet, I expect those cleats to do a better job of clawing your way out of ruts, so it won't tramline quite so bad, is my expectation. The tires are also actually 3 pounds lighter. So between the forged wheels that we have, which were 12.5 pounds lighter, and the tires, and actually, I know it's ridiculous, but I actually got a set of titanium lug nuts because they were cool. And actually, they're kind of blue tinged because titanium, when you heat treat them, you can make them interesting colors. That saved literally 1.5 pounds for all 20 lug nuts. So all combined, we're something like 16 pounds lighter per corner, which is fantastic. If we have the strength and traction to do everything we need and have that much weight reduction for, again, better ride quality, better range, better everything, that is a great trade-off, and that is fantastic. Now, let's talk about strength, because we have had 2 issues in particular. One led to a completely flat tire. We were down at the Hollister Hills off-road park down in kind of the south end of Silicon Valley. And it's kind of funny. We were at this trail leadership workshop with CJ and the Bay Area Rivian Club. And I was kind of thinking to myself, we're going to do all these obstacles and take turns like pointing each other through the obstacles and doing trail guidance and stuff and radio communications and talking through it. We should really test out changing a tire. Like, how many people have just never changed their tire before, especially in an off-road environment? I was thinking this in my head strong enough that sure enough, we got a flat tire. Now, the place we got it is very obvious. We went through the tunnel at Hollister Hills, which is this neat little, like, through a trench, and it's got a bridge over it. It's like through a tunnel. But the walls of the tunnel have spray concrete on this wire mesh, and it's old and starting to crumble. And so we got a puncture just after going through there. And we went back and took a look, and sure enough, we found chunks of concrete in the rocks and dirt and gravel that is the road surface through there. Chunks of concrete with wires poking out of them. And sure enough, when we got back to America's Tire Company up on Stevens Creek and had them take a look at the tire, on the outer portion, there was a little bit of a tear where basically the wire and the concrete block kind of ripped their way out. On the inside, it was a perfectly clean, teeny little puncture, and they patched it up and no problem at all. I don't think we can blame the Toyo for that. Would a heavy-duty BFG KO3 have had the strength to resist that poking from the wire? Maybe, maybe not. Don't know. The second issue we had was actually out in Dixie Valley. We're heading our way up towards the Wonder Mine, and on this road that was been used, this dirt road that was used as an access road to the Wonder Mine for 100 years. And sure enough, we're driving along, and all of a sudden,
what was that? Do something?
Let me just double check. All's well. Tire pressures are fine.
It's like,
Well, exactly. Like something got caught in a tire, was flipping around. Whoa! Come check this out.
What?
Get the GoPro. Oh, come around. Oh.
What happened?
that nail.
Oh, wow. Did it go through?
I'm not sure how deep it goes. We're about to find out. Hopefully this is just super shallow. It's just incidental. Won't get it very shallow. Oh yeah, yeah. So as I wiggle it, it's like just right there, right? So So I think it's literally just underneath this tread block. We are lucky we caught that at such a good angle. Or I guess unlucky that it wasn't just... come on, come on. There we go. All right, want a souvenir?
Yeah.
Now the principal reason why Rivian owners discard and hate their Scorpions is because they get loud. They start out quiet as a mouse, but then after about 20,000 miles, they develop quite an intense growling noise, especially at the mid-speed ranges, 40 to 50 miles an hour. Once you're up at a highway speed, the wind noise on the cabin kind of balances that out, and it's not really so pronounced anymore. And at low speeds, it's not a big deal. But in that mid-range, 40, 50 miles an hour, rah, 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 rah. And I couldn't take it anymore after 25,000 miles. I decided to switch. Are the Toyo Open Country AT3 EVs any quieter? I have no idea. I've only put 8,000 miles on them so far. They started out nice and quiet. They're maybe a little bit louder now. Will they reach a point where they start to get super loud? I really don't know. And check back in. I'll put a pinned comment down below on how things go, and we'll probably hit that sometime in the next year. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It depends on how the tread blocks are designed, how they taper down as they start wearing down. TBD. I would not be surprised at all if it has the exact same sound change over time as the Pirelli Scorpions do. It's easily possible. No one really knows because these tires are so brand new. There's like no data out there at all. So don't be shocked if they end up getting noisy. And for what it's worth, I rotate my tires religiously every 5,000 miles. So I definitely keep them, keep the wear balanced as much as possible. So I'm just not letting the tires destroy themselves by not rotating often enough. So we've probably had 200 to 300 miles of off-road trails on these tires this summer. And they've been great. They've been fantastic. They've been efficient on the road. They've been great off-road. The traction's been excellent. The efficiency's been excellent. 2 big thumbs up on these Toyos. That being said, if you appreciate content like this, please like, please subscribe, please share especially. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for watching, and take care on the trail out there.